Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of the Board States podcast. I am your host, Reggie.
And I am your boy, Jazz.
And we are talking very quickly about PAX Unplugged here. And so if you haven't heard about it, Jazz is going to tell you all about PAXU is what they call it in a second. But this is a bonus episode, so we're just going to get right into the hype list. We're not going to do a state of mind. We're not going to do an En La Mesa first impressions. We just wanted to get this out between episodes, give you some extra fun content to listen to just because of the timing of when this convention is. Jazz, I know you're an expert on PAXU. What are your thoughts on it? What is it? I have never been, so I'm very curious.
Honestly, I'm going to say, just as you say, this is the best hobby in the world, Reg. This is the best convention that there is in the States. I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with the fact that it is my local convention, Reg. It's just the fact that it just seems to have everything. It's the right size. It has the right hype around everything. It like comes shortly after Essence, obviously not this year, but like shortly after BGG Con. This year, actually, they're going to be on the same weekend, which I know is going to make it tough for people who normally attend both. So they're going to have to make that tough decision. But it's not overly huge like Gen Con, where it's like, I can't see everything. But I feel like it has everything that Gen Con seems to have, at least that I experience. Again, I'm not a big RPG person, although I do love RPGs. I've tried them out. It's one of those things, give me a one shot, I'll join in. But it's not something I regularly play, but they have those. Yeah. They have everything that you're looking for. It's at PAX Unplugged. So
yeah, full on tabletop, situation, which is really cool because every time I hear PAX, it's kind of awesome for me to see this. There's a few other PAX events, which PAX stands for Penny Arcade Expo. If you did not know, the original Penny Arcade Expo, the original PAX was back in Seattle, my hometown. And when I was going, it was called PAX. And in 2010, they were calling it PAX calling it PAX Prime. And that was my main convention because I was a video game guy and it was a video game focused event. Usually there's still PAX East, there's still PAX Australia, and now PAX Unplugged is kind of the biggest preeminent tabletop expo when it comes to PAX. And I really want to go. I'll just say it is at that time of year, like late November, early December is just holiday heavy. Tough for someone who has in education, I think is it's a tough time of school year to miss too. So I will go one of these years, hopefully. But it seems great. I was just looking at all the people who are coming, and the first look thing that we were talking about before we started recording. It seems like a really good one. November 21st to 23rd is when it is. So it's coming up here in a few weeks. You're going, Jazz?
Oh, of course. It's a train ride over for me. Sometimes depending on how I'm feeling that day or how me and my buddies, my game group normally like to go, we'll either sometimes drive over, we prepay for our parking, and we're good for those 3-4 days. But yeah, like I said, it's a great convention. It's that first PAX convention that's been primarily tabletop game focused, right? Yeah. Everything's PAX has always been about the video games, but yeah, now they do a really good job. One thing that I also really appreciate about PAX, especially for that first time convention goer, right? I think this is the con. If you're thinking, I think honestly this is the one to go to. The reason being is your badge price gets you access to legitimately everything there. There's no paying for a seat at a demo table. There's no paying to do these miniature paintings. There's no paying for those additional tickets that sometimes you definitely have to pay for at Gen Con, such you're allotted a seat. And I understand why those things happen. But, for me, it's the same way. I got to hurry up and pay for that ticket first to have that seat at that table to play whatever game I want to play. I have to be the first in line on the app to get access to that miniature painting event that I want to do at PAX. So I don't see nothing different for it. I think it's just super welcoming for someone who is completely new to a convention. And, you've shelled out. At one point it was like $75-$80 for the whole weekend. Now it's a little over. It's almost 110. You're shelling out over $100. People who are going to also buy games at the convention, and then you sometimes feel like you're being nickeled and dimed for $5 for this event, $10 for this event. Nice. Yeah, just to do a couple different things. So that's one thing I do appreciate it. I think it's a very welcoming convention.
That's great. And it also has the big like shopping and things that make expos really exciting too. So that's really cool. I will say that was one of my big critiques of PAX West, and I've talked to a few people about it when we were there, is that the tabletop building is getting bigger and bigger. It's a whole different building in Seattle.
Okay.
And the video game side is the main convention hall. And you have to pay for an entire badge. You can't, and you pay for both, but if you spend all your time over in tabletop, you're still paying for the access to all the other stuff. So if they did a separate badge with that, I think that would be really cool. But anyway, November 21st is when this is happening in 2025 in Philadelphia. And as of right now, we're about the middle of November. There are 401 titles on the preview list here, and this is just like we did with Essen. If you go on Board Game Geek, you click on Browse, and you click under Previews, you can always see the previews for the next big conventions. So we just went through, and we each brought a handful again to think about 5 each, and we're gonna obviously have some honorable mentions because that's what we do around here.
That's what we do.
And we're just gonna talk about the ones that are most exciting to us. So. Again, I like to sort by publisher. I like to sort by thumbs hot is a good way to do it, to see what's the hottest games. So like right now, the hottest one is Hercules and the 12 Labors. I think because a lot of people got their hands on it at Essen, which is really interesting. It's a solo game. Seems really, really cool. Not a lot of the ones I brought, again, are in these top ones. I actually was filtering by designer a lot this time around. And I like doing that because it's just like, it's like reading a book. You know, this is something, if you're newer to board games, if you're listening to this and you're not into it, like if you read a book from an author, when I was a kid, I read Hatchet and I loved Gary Paulson so much. And then I just read every Gary Paulson book that ever came out because I just loved how that guy's brain worked. And I really find that to be the same thing with board games. So that's how I went. Mostly was designer more than anything. I think publisher's a good way to go, but I'll love to hear how you thought about it after my first pick here, which has a little bit of bias, a little bit of love, because I did get to try an early prototype of this, and that is chicken fried dice. Chicken fried dice.
I completely missed that one. All right.
So this is.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the publisher is Urban Professional Games. The designers' names are Ashwin Kamath and Rob Newton, both Seattle-based designers. Rob Newton did Trickety, which I covered on my YouTube channel a while ago, and Ashwin, that's just my buddy. He's great. He's been working on designing tons and tons of games. He doesn't even like playing published games. He said this to me. He's like, he prefers to play test games more than anything. He's on the development team at Flat Out too. So he's very deep in the design space. I love bouncing ideas off him because I'm like an aspiring budding designer down the line too. So this game is food truck themed. And again, I played a very early copy of it. I'm looking at the pictures now. I'm like, it's really come a long way, which is really exciting. The thing that is the most surprising to me about why I enjoyed it is actually a real-time dice rolling game. So you're rolling all these dice in the middle. And again, I know a lot of gamers cringe immediately as they hear real-time, and I am included, but I don't know why. I think it's just the sheer amount of dice. It works out well. It kind of works like the game Fit to Print, where there's a big pile of tiles in the middle and you're just grabbing one at a time. You have to grab it, place it, mark things down before you can grab another. It's not like if you're just super fast, you're just going to win the game. You only have a limited number of spots anyway. And you're just placing these dice in all these different locations on your food truck, and you can upgrade your food truck, and you just get these the typical roll and write combos of you mark this thing off and then another thing marks. It's got a little bit of silver and gold inspiration too, which I love. Silver and gold.
Piquing my interest. I'm a big fan of silver and gold.
It's great. Dual layered, like dry erase boards, and just so many dice. It is really awesome. They've been working on this for so long, and I'm just so glad that it's hopefully going to come out here soon, because the tariffs really slowed this game down. It's like a medium-sized box with a lot of content in it, and just what is able to be produced right now, as you can see on a lot of preview things, are just small box card games. And so this is definitely like a medium size, medium weight with a lot of stuff in it, and so it's a little tough to make for an indie publisher. So I just wanted to shout out Chicken Fried Dice. Beautiful art. It's great. What do you think of this? This is the first time hearing of it?
The first time hearing of it, but I'm looking at the artwork. I love it. I love this idea. Like if you tell me real time dice rolling, I'm thinking of mass chaos, right? But right now I'm looking at the picture, and I like how they have this little pentagon in the center, that kind of like a. It's like exactly like a chicken coop or a chicken pen,
Yeah.
where everybody's rolling their dice. I'm assuming everybody's got their own colored dice, so it's just the chaos is kind of held under control. But this is something like that I would. Looking at it, and this, I think the table presence, something that a lot of families, a lot of people who are into roll and writes automatically are going to be stopping at this booth to check out, myself included. Because like I said, when it comes to roll and writes, I enjoy them, but I'm not one who's honestly enamored with I got to go check this new roll and write out, right? It's one of those that once I'm introduced to it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to hit my table a lot, it's one that I add to my collection. That's how I am with roll and writes. Not again, I have love for the roll and writes, the flip and writes. I don't hate them. I do love them, but it's not the game that I naturally go for,
Yeah, it is interesting though, because people do really. Some people just really bounce off of it, or like I was listening to someone, I think it was on YouTube, was just like talking about the trick taking trend. I love the trick taking trend so much. It's like, but there's a lot of trick taking games, but it's not as bad as when all those roll and writes were coming out. And I think there was just an era of the hobby where there were just so many roll and writes coming out that some people just have a bad taste in their mouth. It's kind of like anthropomorphic animals or any trick taking, like I said right now. There's always something that like gets oversaturated and then people are going to get annoyed by. And I'm just like, I like roll and writes for the most part. And this one definitely has a nice twist, and it's definitely a little meatier, no pun intended. So how did you go about finding your games, and what's your first one?
Obviously, I'm not an educator, so therefore my list is never always like, I have things set out normally, Reg. I just go through it, and honestly, I hit show all, and I scroll down, and I look at, honestly, I look at the first off is box art that gets me, publisher, designer. I'm like looking at everything. I look at it all, if it catches, almost like if I was like shopping in a store. If I'm walking by and it catches my eye, I'm going to stop. I'm going to check out the title. I'm going to flip over the back, see what it looks like. And that's kind of how I do it. It's like window shopping for me on BGG. There's so much content that I don't have time in my day with 2 kids that are under the age of 7. All right. To look through everything. But listen,
that's a lot.
I do enjoy it. So I started my list. I'm going like, I guess, smaller to bigger box games, kind of doing it. And I'm going to start off with the Doctor because he's obviously dropping a game, and it's going to be from AllPlay. This one is a little trick-taking game. I love my trick takers, Reg. Pinatas from AllPlay. Okay. Now, this is a neat little trick taker. I was able to read the rule book on this one too, because again, I'm like, trick taking, why am I going to have this one in my collection? But what's really cool about this one, it looks like there's going to be the beautiful colored art on this, but it's a simple must follow trick taker. It does have a trump suit, but the trump suit is going to be determined by one player at the table. And I didn't see how it starts in the beginning. Honestly, I kind of skipped that just to how to play, but subsequent rounds, whoever is the last person, the person who scores the least amount of points, they're going to be able to choose the trump suit for the next round after looking at their cards, which I think adds that strategic element to it. But this is one where it's a go out first type trick taker, where you're going to have a set number of tricks that you're trying to win before you go out.
I believe it's 3, right? Yeah,
yes.
I think it's 3 in this one, yeah.
And it's actually going to be based on player count, because if it's a 2-player, it's actually 7.
Interesting.
So the idea is you don't want to be the first person to go out, because your points are based off of the amount of tricks won by the other players when you go out. So if I go out first and there's only 3 other tricks on the table from the other players, I'm only scoring 3 points. But if I go out second to last and there's a total of 6 tricks I'm scoring all those 6 points, which I think adds this really cool element to it, where it's, manage your hand. I think it's a good thing for it. It's easy. It seems like it's going to be easy to play, something you can introduce to new trick takers, but has that strategic element on how to really manage your hand when you're playing a trick taking game. So something that I'm really interested for it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and I love the new art on it. So it is a reimplementation of a reimplementation. I don't know if you looked into it, but it was called a game called Voodoo Prince, and before that it was the Marshmallow Test. And I've had Marshmallow Test on my like Grail game list for the last like 3 or 4 years, when the first time I heard about it. And if you know anything about the Marshmallow Test in real life, it's like a psychological experiment with children. where I don't correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or email us if we're wrong here, but where kids they'd put a kid in a room for like 5 minutes and have them with a marshmallow, and they say if you can have that marshmallow right now, or if you wait 5 minutes you can have 2 marshmallows later.
Yes.
And so the whole thing is about delayed gratification, and so that's what this. And with a piñata, it's like if you're the last one to hit and burst the piñata,
exactly.
you're getting all the candy. I'm like, man, that's so good. AllPlay, all these Knizia re-implementations. I've got some on my list as well. We'll get to in a moment. Yeah, that's great. I will be buying this one. Yeah, it's just the AllPlay box is great. I don't have a lot of that size. I've had some that I've passed along, but I love that little all box, small box, all box, small play.
AllPlay small box, right?
Yes, AllPlay small box. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, listen. Yep.
So, sorry. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
No. I think that was good. I like the small box. I even like the tiny box series that they have. So yeah,
that's stuff. True. I saw a bunch of those. They're great. So yeah, Pinatas looks great. It's a must buy for me. It seems like it does a nice spin on the trick taking. All right, the game that I am most excited about. So I'm actually not going. I definitely might be going big here first. Is a game called Ember Heart. Okay, and it's got this beautiful dragon. Art on the front with a woman, and the art is by Andrew Bosley of Everdell fame, and it's Mindclash Games is the designer or the publisher. Sorry. The designer, one designer named Rob Fisher, who I'm not familiar with, but the other one, his name is Adam Porter. And if you know, and I'm a YouTube guy, YouTube is my first home, my first love for all social media, for just where I make most of my content before we made the podcast and everything. And Adam Porter, his name is Adam in Wales on YouTube. He's got a huge YouTube channel where he talks about game design, and I've watched his game design videos a lot. And he has a lot of smaller games. He has a trick taking game that kind of is like a Hanabi, where your hands the cards are facing outward and stuff. I don't know if it's trick taking, I forget, but a card game. So he's really cool, and I've always respected his work and just love how much he gives for free on the internet. And he's coming out with like a serious medium weight, auction bidding set collection worker placement game in this dragon world that just looks so beautiful. I'm really, really excited about this one. And the I think right now in November of 25, I'm especially interested because I am reading a book right now called I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons. It's by Peter S. Beagle, and it's just like a cozy fantasy game, which I'm so into that genre right now. And it's about like all these different types of dragons, and it's just evoking that same thing. So, the mechanisms already, medium weight worker placement that plays quickly, that has auction and bidding, that has set collection. I mean, there's nothing else you need to say for me. I'm 100% trying this. This might even be a buying sight unseen. I think I trust the designer and the mechanisms enough that I probably will just straight up get this when it comes out. Really
this
cool.
was one that was on my list. We had I would say we had a crossover. So of course, what I'm going to do? I'm going to insert what was in my other slot into talk more about it. But listen, give me my favorite game, of course, Anachrony from Mindclash Games. So everything that Mindclash puts out, I'm looking at. But yeah, this is one that's been on my radar ever since it was announced. So I have already spoken to the publisher, telling them like this, I'm coming to the booth to check this one out because again, it's that medium weight, and normally Mindclash is known for that heavier weight game. So something that's a little bit more, inviting for newer players or players who are ready to take that next step up into a weight of a game. Yeah, this is something I think the art, Andrew Bosley, you have me sold simply by putting Andrew Bosley as your artist.
I think it's going to be like an Everdell type weight, like a little bit that Gateway Plus kind of. So
correct.
I'm intrigued by this. Rescue and train dragons, rally heroes, and make a stand against the dragon poachers. Yeah, I'm very into Ember Heart there. That's what it is. Yeah. All right.
Yep. So my next game is one that I tried to pick up last PAX Unplugged when they do like this indie game night on I think it's Friday or Saturday. I think I want to say it's Friday night, the first night of the event, where they pretty much have a lot of self-published games, a lot of them games that were featured at Tokyo Game Market. A lot of them are all self-published. Many of these games you'll find online on websites like New Mill Industries. This one specifically is another trick taker again, but a dungeon crawling style trick taker, which intrigued me in how it's played, is called Torchlit. This is from designer David Spolinski. Again, it was self-published, but AllPlay picked this one up, and man, it looks like they did some great things with the art on it.
So
I'm just
cool.
looking at I'm just looking at the box art alone. Everything else on BGG seems to have the art from the original game. But yeah, this is an interesting one where you're playing cards into these like different, I want to say, caverns or dungeon spots in this dungeon, right? It's almost like a lane, almost like if you're looking at a lane battle where you're playing cards to these various lanes, but you're going to be moving your meeple down the dungeon, and you're going to be scoring points based off of where that meeple lands, and if your meeple is there, you'll be able to score more points. I've seen this one played, and it looks super interesting. Yes, it is more of those heavier type trick taker, so it's not going to be something that I'm going to be introducing to a family. It's going to be more that gamer style trick taker, which I think is perfect because a lot of my friends who are gamers sometimes get turned off by trick taking because to them it's a little bit too light. So yeah, I think this is one that you can kind of get a couple rounds on a game night, and it's going to be very, very inviting with the theme specifically for your gamer.
Gamers, yeah, it definitely seems like it's going to be a good filler. It's a very small box, actually. I got to see a copy of this. Of course, I was thinking about that. Shout out to Jonathan at the Geek Dad. He's the Etch-a-Sketch guy on Jonathan Liu on Instagram. But at his place, he had this awesome little copy of it. I'm like, what is this? It makes me think of like old D&D, like 80s D&D, or like a dungeon crawler video game from like Windows XP, so that one looks really cool. Yeah, great. Torchlit. Yeah, that's been on my radar too, and I don't know anyone who has it to play yet, so we'll have to check out the like full copy. Awesome. My next one is a twofer, and we're bringing Reiner Knizia up again. And this is Gingham and Gazebo. These are two separate games, but they're both being released by Bitewing Games. And if you know anything about Bitewing, they've been doing a lot of this, a lot of Reiner Knizia re-implementations. Correct. Yeah, and they're putting just a new paint of coat on it. All this beautiful stuff. And it's also funny, Bitewing they're like two dentists, I believe, is how they started the company. And so the thing you put in your mouth to like keep your mouth open so they can like do x-rays, that's called a Bitewing. So that's why they're called that. You can go to their website. But the designer of Gingham is not Reiner Knizia. I'm sorry. Yeah, that one. This is shout out to Robert Hovak Imian. Oh my gosh, but this is terrible. I'm terribly mispronouncing this. I'm so sorry, Robert. Robbie, forgive me, Bob. Robert Hovakimian. Hovakimian. So let's talk about that one first. The artist is the same, and the publisher is the same, so that's why I was thinking they're the same. This artist, her name is A. Giroux, and she is on Instagram. I wanted to give her a quick shout out really quickly. You can go check out her Instagram, which is called, and that's where I discovered this game before I even saw the preview. And I will bring that up in a second here. Oh yeah, her name is Asmeesh on Instagram, ASMEESH, and her art is just so cool. But the Gingham game is based on ants on a picnic blanket. You're trying to like get a bunch of sweet treats, and it comes in this awesome little like zip bag or like zipper like package
pouch,
that you can keep it in. Yeah, pouch. Yeah, I don't even know what you call that.
Yeah.
That
and it looks like a picnic basket too.
Yes, and that is. Oh yes, it totally does look like a picnic basket. That's great. And the picnic tablecloth is gingham, that's the name of the like pattern that is called gingham. So that's why it's called that. So it looks really interesting. Maybe even like a Connect 4E chaining your ants around. It says it's got enclosure, connections, chaining, and it has a Dutch auction, which I think is one of the most underrated mechanisms out there. Dutch auction, good example of that would be like Century Spice Road, or what's another game does it? Majesty for the Realm does that. So where you have to just put meeples or put things on there to grab a certain card or something like that. So it seems really, really cool. I think this would be really cute, especially that it looks like it should be like a 2-player abstract, but it goes up to 4 too, which I think is really nice. So yeah, that is Gingham. And from the same company and same artist is Gazebo, but the designer on this one is Reiner Knizia, and it is actually a re-implementation of one of his famous like Grail games called Chin, which is Qin. And so this one, it's now gone into like patios, gazebos, type looks here, where you're using these little domino tiles on kind of a garden thing. It looks kind of reminds me of of that game renature as well a little bit in terms of the tiles, and then but it's just another abstract on a cloth board with a square grid, area majority, all that type of stuff. And this is some people's like favorite Reiner Knizia game, so I think a lot of people are excited about it. I've never played the original, and this new beautiful version is a great way for me to try it. Gazebo.
Yeah, that one caught my eye when I saw that that they were going to be releasing this one as well. You know, obviously, you talk to a Puerto Rican who loves dominoes and, you know, has that little domino feel and the flair. I think it's one of those that I could probably teach to some of my family who can kind of get behind, obviously understanding a tile laying game that's about matching up these like domino styled pieces to, I guess, create your area to place these various gazebos on. But yeah, beautiful artwork, and again, it comes in some great packaging as well. That little zipper pouch type thing makes it, you know, very inviting to just have a game that you can travel with as well. So super intrigued on that one. So then over to me. I think
awesome. Yeah, what's your next one? Yeah,
my next game obviously was its predecessor was the big buzz at PAX Unplugged last year. Lines out the wazoo every single day. And of course, this is going to be The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, the trick-taking game. 3 trick takers right off the bat.
Of course. I know, yeah. I was like, I didn't know you're this much of a trick-taking lover, but man, the fans are gonna be like, that's great.
I am, and it's crazy because as much as I love worker placement games, like trick-taking has become my new like go-to style card game. It's because, you know, mechanics are fairly similar. Some things are just slightly different. They just give you this different flair on a game. So I feel like I'm playing a game that I already know, but obviously has a little bit of twist to it. That's why I like these things. But yeah, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, again, I loved the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. Just give me more of it. I just want to continue on with this story because, again, it's telling a story as you go through. So every single one that's coming out, I'm already buying it. So I'm hoping that it's not as crazy as it was last year trying to get my hand on a copy of this. But if it is, I have no problem. I will wait gladly until it's at my FLGS.
Your French ludology game system or fiddly little game setup?
Fiddly little game setup, you know, that's exactly where I'm going to go purchase my copy if I can't walk away with one of these. But yeah, this awesome. I think is going to be another big buzz at the convention. So not much to say about it other than it's great.
I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. There's not really much to say. It's going to blow up. The first one is so great, and I haven't even finished it. This gives me a nice motivation. I have some of the same buddies that I played like the first 5 scenarios with that are coming over next month, and I'm like, we need to finish the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that Two Towers, and maybe this is maybe a tangent, but Two Towers is my favorite of the films. So I'm very intrigued to see. Maybe it's probably not a unpopular opinion. That's not a hot take at all, right?
It's I don't think it's a hot take. It's my favorite as well.
Yeah, I think most people love it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm excited about it. Helm's Deep, it's just gonna be so great.
Yeah.
Okay. My next one is really, really fast here because there's not a lot of information on this one yet. This one is called Frosted Blooms, and it comes out in 2026. Okay. And the little tagline is craft a vibrant frost-hued tulip garden with strategic tile drafting in 10 rounds. So it's just hand management, pattern building, tile placement, tulips in the Netherlands, which there's been a few of these games like focusing on the tulip farms in the Netherlands, and I've been to the Netherlands, so I have a little bit of affinity there. But the reason that this jumped out at me, the publisher's name is Synapses Games. I don't know the artist very well, Simone Pierre Bernard, but the designer, one of the 2 designers' name is Bruno Cathala. And him and tiling, you signed me up. Literally in my top 10 games, my gateway game into the modern hobby is called King Domino by him. I've been really into Sea Salt and Paper, Kanagawa. You know, I haven't even played some of his most famous games like Cyclades. I have not played. I have not played... Gosh, what's the other one that that everybody Five Tribes. I've never played Five Tribes in real life.
You haven't played Five Tribes?
No, I know, and I love Bruno Cathala still. So,
yeah.
So I don't know much about it besides tile laying. Bruno Cathala, you say less.
Yeah, Five Tribes is great. Yeah, that's that one that I think is worth checking out as well. Over to mine again. I don't know much about this one. I can tell you that I saw a preview of this at PAX Unplugged last year. I was told that I needed to check this one out and play it, but I'll tell you, every time I was try to get to their booth, Burnt Island Games booth, this one was always packed and I could never get a seat. And this one is How to Save a World from from Burnt Island Games. And this one is from designer Yuval Grinspun. And this is a like medium weight, I wouldn't say it's medium heavy. It's a medium weight Euro style deck, bag, and pool building, but also has this worker placement where you're tasked with building your hand, resource managing, and it says that each turn you're assigning your workers to perform critical tasks to spend actions to help advance your goals. At the end of each round, the projects will be assessed and as the asteroid moves closer. But can you make the right decisions to avert disaster in this competitive sci-fi fiction game? Give me space, give me worker placement. You already have my interest. But I will tell you, every game that Burnt Island puts out, it's just something that is always fun. It may not be the best game out there, but I will tell you, every single game they put out is good. And they have one of my favorite games, and they put out one of my favorite games of last year,
Endeavor Deep Sea,
Kennerspiel Endeavor Deep Sea.
Okay,
yes,
because I was like, it looks like Endeavor Deep Sea, kind of like just the board states and stuff as well. It looks a little similar in the graphic design.
Board states name drop.
Oh my gosh, the name of the podcast. Oh my god.
But yeah, everything they put out is just great. It's always worth checking out. Always go over to their booth. Helena and Josh over at Burnt Island as well are just great people, as well as Sean. Always so inviting to check out their booth. So even if it wasn't like a game that took me over there, I'm going over there just for the people as well.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Yeah, I need to keep this one on. I need to keep this publisher on my short list too, to start looking into Burnt Island games, because I mean, Endeavor Deep Sea, it's at 126 at the time of recording right now on BGG. Like, it's climbing. It's got a lot of respect and love, so that is pretty cool. Okay, my last one is just a fun one here. Just because I love both of these games and they're doing like a crossover. And this is called Mindbug X King of Tokyo. Have you seen this? Like,
I have seen it, and I had a feeling this might have been on your list. Yes.
Yeah, I love King of Tokyo, and Mindbug I've been enjoying. I have it, to be completely honest, when I first got it, I played it like 5 times with my coworker, and I haven't touched it since. But Richard Garfield, designer of Magic the Gathering, and King of Tokyo and Mindbug, these are his games. So I think what's happening is that that Mindbug is just getting King of Tokyo characters added to it in this like standalone box. So I think that's what it is. It's more of a card game still. So there's no dice or anything, I don't think, but maybe. Oh no, there are dice involved. Okay, so it does seem.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it says playable alone or with all of the Mindbug sets. So it's got dice and all the typical stuff you love with all the cool characters from King of Tokyo, but also fused with Mindbug. So I think that's great. I really want to try this one out. That's cool.
Yeah, that seems fun. I think it'll bring a lot of those fans of King of Tokyo into understanding what Mindbug is. Yeah, Mindbug is a fun little game. Like you said, it's nothing that's gonna like wow you. Oh my goodness, this is amazing! But it's one of those games that kind of great introduction to that 2-player like CCG style game. Yeah. My last one is actually going to be Formaggio, which is I have this one coming. I did back this one, but this is one that I am interested in definitely checking out. This is one I blind backed because I love Fromage so much. I picked it up at PAX Unplugged last year, but Formaggio, this is that expand alone to Fromage. You can play it separate, you can add it together, but yeah, this is definitely one that not much more to say that other than if you love Fromage, this is one that I think it's worth heading over to the booth. And it's actually not going to be at I know that it's published by Road to Infamy Games, but it's going to actually be at the Kinson Key Games booth, which is the same publisher as Galactic Cruise. So if you head over to that booth, this is where you will check this one out at. So yeah, if you've never played Fromage, this is some way you can get right into it and probably check out if Fromage is going to be for you. So again, it's going to be a little bit of a different board, going to add some new elements, but yeah, I love Fromage. It's such a great game. Plays quick, and again, you're dropping another game that again plays in 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Simultaneous worker placement. Just I love it already.
Yeah, I want this one more than the original, and it's just because of the country difference. Like, my wife is Italian. Like, we love going to Italy. We just went in 2024, and I think the mechanics of it, she would also enjoy. So I think if I get one or the other, it's going to be Formaggio, which sounds really, really great. Awesome. Wow, good picks. I think we talked about that in a previous episode. We did. Eagle-eared listeners will tell us which one we did, but I don't know what this is. Okay, I have a couple quick honorable mentions. I'm going to go with just four. I'm going to do four real quick.
Okay.
Quick shout out to the Ahoy expansions. I just want to shout them out. I did just get them. Fang and Fortune and Rivals and Renegades. They're both going to be there. They have really high ratings on BGG. I have my new copies. I just got them. Shout out to Leader Games. So I will be messing with those myself. So I haven't actually played those, but shout out. That seems interesting. Biggest shout out I want to give is to Texas card games inspired by the Lone Star State. This is at the Games Well booth. And the designers are Thomas and Kelly Cardwell. They are honestly, again, another one of these. I need to give my bias. Like, I love these people. They're awesome. I would consider them my friends. I worked at their Pacific Northwest card game booth in Seattle at PAX West. And so they made this book. All the games can be played with a traditional deck of cards. Some of them can add, worker placement, or some of them add trick taking, solitaire, all that. Now they're doing the exact same thing for Texas specifically. And so it's got 6 new games that are all going to be in this book. I will be doing the playthrough, or how to play, for one of them called Prickly Pear, which is a drafting game, specifically because the prickly pear is a cactus that has a bird that lives in it, the cactus wren. I have no real tie to Texas at all, but they have one based on a roadrunner, one based on an armadillo, echolocation. It's like trick taking, an area control game, a tile laying game, a drafting game, a set collection, and a card shedding game. So like, if you like traditional card games at all, if you have any sort of Texas affinity, like, you should go check this out, because the PNW book is one of my favorite products of all time because of my special love of the PNW. It just was done with so much care, and their home state is Texas. So I think they're going to do some real love for the Texas card games one. Have you heard of this at all? Was that on your radar at all?
I have not, but I love it, Reg, when you give me things that I can actually look into. So you're giving me homework to do for PAX Unplugged.
Go say hi. Actually, that's so true. Go say hi to them and say hello. They'll know me well. We hang out all the time. I worked their booth for all of PAX West on Saturday, so it was really fun. Last two quick shout outs. Garden Lake. This is the next Uwe Rosenberg one.
Ooh, yeah.
And it looks like patchwork kind of. It's like a polyomino, but these polyominoes are huge. It's 7 or 8 size polyominoes for each of them. And it's like a koi pond type of water lily garden theme. Looks really pretty. Iris over at Crimson Board Games, she was sharing this a lot at her tail, and that looks really cool. And finally, our boy at Chris Couch Games over in your neck of the woods, who will be there, their booth, he's got his 2 holiday-themed games that are coming out. One's called Holiday Hills, which is the bigger box version, and one is called Jingle Bell Roll, designed by Marcus Ross, which is so awesome, our boy. That is a roll and write coming as well. So both of those look really, really cool, especially right around the holiday season. Go check that one out. This one looks really cool. I think I'll be covering Jingle Bell Roll, so look for that on YouTube and Instagram later.
Nice. Yeah, I'll drop the 3 quick honorable mentions here, and honestly, they would have been at my top, but the first 2 are very well known just because they were big buzzes at Essen, and the first one's going to be Recall. The second one is going to be Bohemians. These were both big drops at Essen. Everybody was picking this one up as the hotness to get out there. So I'm in for the hotness, right? But again, I want to be checking these out, actually having a chance to play them, and they will be available to play in the First Look section. So if you're not familiar with First Look, at PAX Unplugged, they have a section of First Look where they take a lot of games that were big features over at Essen, as well as the Tokyo Game Market. We got a chance to play them, but honestly, Zulu Games, which is a board game cafe out over in the Seattle area, they'll purchase a lot of these games to bring over to PAX Unplugged. So this is the first time you'll get access to purchasing some of these games over in the States. So this will be the first time before they actually get there. So yeah, Recall and Bohemians. And then the last one, I'm going to say, check out this publisher, this game booth. And this is going to be the Charming Games Collective. And I got sent these games by the designer, Dylan Coyle. And this is their small box card games. The first one is Capybara Crush. And the second one is Otter. And these are two small box card games that I've really, really been enjoying with my family. My daughter loves them. Otter is pretty much this card shedding game where you're going to be playing cards to this centralized tableau, and sometimes you have to play a card that's either higher or lower, and you can play as many cards as you can as long as you're meeting the requirements. So sometimes you play in this section, you'll play a card that's higher, so you can keep playing as long as the cards you have in your hand are higher, and it's the first person to kind of go out first. And then Capybara Crush is almost like you're creating these little capybaras and trying to create this little tableau of like fruits and different types of fruits and vegetables and I think animals that are going to sitting on top of the capybara's heads, and you're creating them in a row, and you're trying to get the alignments to kind of be one off from each other as they're adjacent. It's tough to kind of explain, but it is a fun little family weight card game. Definitely get over and check these out. These are two games. These are the only two games that I carried with me to my recent trip to Disney World with my family. And yeah, these are just fun, easy to teach family weight card games that, again, from kids around 7-8 years old and up, you'll enjoy it.
That's great. Yeah, the Charming Games Collective. I actually saw both of these in the preview, the Otter and the Capybara Crush, because they're so cute, and I was like, it looks so familiar, and it is because of Park Life. I have the Park Life Hedgehog, which is a trick taking game that's also on Board Game Arena, and I have that one, so that comes to mind. And I do want to shout out Recall. Looks a little big for me. It looks great though. I got to say the sequel to Revive. But Bohemians, I kind of dismissed this game, and ever since Essen, people have been putting out some really cool videos or posting it on Instagram, and it looks great. And I love the idea of like being a struggling artist, and you've got to go outside for inspiration, but you got to also go inside to paint. Like, and the art is incredible. Tableau building. Like, I really I regret dismissing it. Like, this is definitely on my radar now. So yeah, great picks. Those are awesome.
Yeah, and Bohemians is one I as well dismissed, honestly. But it wasn't until Dwayne over at Blackboard Gaming he gave me a phone call one day, and we were just talking about Essen and games, and he was talking about our podcast and listened to our Essen, and he says that
shout
one is up there for me. Yeah, big shout out to Dwayne. Awesome. Go check his channel, Blackboard Gaming, over on YouTube. Yeah. But I know he was one was on his list as one of his hottest games that he wanted to check out if he was going to Essen. So that's kind of what turned me on to this one.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks great. Awesome. Wow. We're almost about to hit 5 minutes here. So we just wanted this to be a bonus quick episode for you all. Thank you.
And we gave you a bonus real episode. How about that?
Yeah, we basically gave you a real one here. It's going to be a little shorter. We didn't do En La Mesa. We didn't do oh my gosh, the state of mind. Yeah, thank you. But just know there'll be another episode a week from today, so you get to, if you're listening to this when it comes out, so you get to hear that. So quick things here to wrap up. I want to, number one, correct something I said in an episode where I was like talking about when I listen to podcasts the most. I was saying I was doing dishes, and my wife wanted to correct me on that. The queen. I don't do dishes. I cook in our house, so I'm usually listening to podcasts while I'm cooking. So I just want that to be known. I want to set the record straight, put the good karma out there that I don't do dishes very often. It's like my least favorite thing to do. I do a lot of other things around the house, I promise. But if you're listening to this, you might be on your way to PAX. We're releasing this before PAX Unplugged drops, so that you can hear this and maybe go check out those booths. So if you go check out any of these games that we talk about, please feel free to reach out to us. We love to get emails. We've been getting some great ones. You can email us at boardstatespod@gmail.com. You can also comment on Spotify. You can comment on YouTube. And also, if you just want to yap with us or chat with us directly, definitely go check us out on Instagram at The Lobby of Hobbies, or at Lobby of Hobbies, and at Rolling Dot. Reggie, I will give one shout out from La Gente, the people, you dearest gentle listeners, to Brooke N, who replied to our Essen Spiel episode, because we're talking about a hype list right now, and she said that the one big crossover she had with us is Zombie Princess, which we are both like so excited about. So shout out to you, Brooke. Can you, Jazz, close us out here for our bonus episode?
Oh, yeah. But before we go, we want to give a huge shout out and thanks to our podcast music from my boy, Judge, a.k.a. at Dre the Producer, over on Instagram. And also your buddy, Kenan, who has become my buddy as well, over on Instagram, at PunchboardCathedral, for doing our art and our logo.
The best
we want to give
logo in
a
the
big
biz.
shout out and give credit to the people that are behind the podcast that you don't get to hear or see. But again, we give you a huge thanks for coming and stop by with us. Again, hanging out and talking about the best hobby in the world. And here at Board States, where, what would we say? The board states decide the outcomes. All right, again, let's have some fun. Continue playing those games, and we will see you on the other side. Lo vemos.
Nos vemos.